All right, guys, welcome back to the All Games podcast. We have our friend Nick with us, and we're going to dissect what you can learn from the recent incident that happened at the Oscar Awards with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Let's get into it and see if this is real, fake, what's going on. All right, guys, so as the title suggests, we're going to get into this. We're going to give you guys some deep, heavy game today. We're going to go through two sections of this video. The first half, we're going to talk about in the scenario in which this is all staged. We're going to talk about media manipulation and everything that goes into that. And then in the second half of this podcast / video, we're going to talk about the implications of this is completely real. We're going to assume that this is all real. This is not staged. It's all, what this means for Will Smith, how Chris Rock handled this, and how you guys should handle this if you were in a situation like this in real life. So let's just begin by reviewing the actual footage itself. And so let's watch it.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
He's walking up. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Right in the face.
Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
He's just as shocked as everybody else.
Get my name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Okay, so let's just talk about this first. So we gotta go. We're gonna go very deep into the game with you guys today. You saw it right there. So Nick, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on this situation?
I think it was a very awkward situation for Chris Rock because I'll be honest with you, nobody really expected that to happen. I don't think at least in my opinion, I don't believe it was a script event that was going on. So he was like very sidetracked after that happened, and amazed like everybody that Will Smith, who ultimately actually won an Oscar, ended up doing that.
He did end up winning. What are any other thoughts?
His first ever Oscar, and that's his
It's the legacy now.
His legacy now in winning his Oscar.
I guess he's got to slap somebody to get an Oscar. I guess.
Mike, what's some of your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I have a lot of things to say, to be honest. So give me 1 second.
Okay, while you have your thoughts, Mix, I'm gonna go. So what I'm basically seeing here is, okay, so as I said in the first half of this video, we're gonna assume that's staged. Okay, so let's just assume it is.
We're assuming it's staged?
For the first half, yeah. So what I'm gonna say is that if this is, okay, there's a good reason for it, right? Because if you look at the ratings for the Oscars, they've been going down over the recent years. People are not as into it as they were. It's just not very appealing to many people anymore.
In fact, we didn't even know the Oscars was going on.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Happened.
Now, this is the story of how I found this. Was literally I was trying to get some rest. I was in my bed, and it was like 11 at night. And then one of the YouTubers that I follow actually went live immediately as soon as this happened, and was like, Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. I was like, wait, the Oscars was tonight? And I started watching it, and then I started diving into those situations. I was like, okay, Mike, we got to talk about this. So then here we are doing this right now. This is being recorded today, the day after it happened, which is the night before. So, and a bunch of news coverage is coming out now. Some are suggesting that it might not be scripted. It might not be fake. But let's just assume it was staged. Why would it be staged? This is the perfect time to do something like this. Now, why Will Smith, you may ask? Why would this happen to Will Smith? The real question is, why would it not happen to Will Smith? Now, Will Smith has been under media coverage the last couple of years like crazy with his marriage with Jada Pinkett Shakur. Oh, I meant Smith. Did I say that? And basically, Will Smith has, they had the whole thing, for those who don't know, there was the whole thing where, Jada Pinkett Smith had this entanglement with this guy, August something. He's some rapper dude. He's a younger guy. She banged him because her and Will Smith were having some problems. And some suggest that they may be an open relationship, although Will Smith doesn't really confirm that. right, real quick, I want to dive into the fact that in Hollywood, in California, and California is like the lost state of America. California is just horrible to live right now. It's very unpopular for a couple to be in an open relationship. I personally think that's possible, that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith actually might be in an open relationship. So Will Smith might actually be banging other girls, but he has this nice guy Hollywood persona that has been going on over the years, in which case, if the public viewed Will Smith as this non-monogamous, banging all these girls, it would hurt his reputation that he has. So, which is why he probably chooses to keep quiet about it. Now, you have to remember, for many years, Will Smith has gone under this. Remember, Hollywood is fake. It's all fake. It's all a theater. It's all a show. All these celebrities and when they smile and they do all these interviews, it's all fake. It's all propaganda. It's all, remember, these are actors doing acting. And Will Smith, don't be fooled, people, is a great actor. Okay, he has done amazing movies over the years.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, and he has had some insane roles. And he's in some of your favorite movies: Men in Black, Independence Day, Wild Wild West, which is not a lot of people's favorite movie. He was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This dude, if you guys remember, in the scene where he confronts his dad and he's crying at the thing, he can act and he can cry if he wanted to. So for someone to assume that this could be fake, it would make sense that it would. So you have to remember, Hollywood is known for being fake. Okay, there's so many things that go on behind the scenes that not many people understand that's actually going on. So it would make complete sense if this actually could be staged. Now, even though it could be, said it might not be, because he did curse. And as Mike pointed out to me earlier, he doesn't even curse in his rap songs. So it would make sense that this could be completely, just instant. It could be just coming out of nowhere. Chris Rock seems to be, he seems to be just as surprised as anybody else. Now, I want to look at some body language. So let's dive into this clip a little bit more. And, up to the point where he goes to hit him. So I want to start to the part where he says the joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. So let's go to that part. So
Hang on. Fuck. There we go.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
So let's pause. Okay, so in this moment, as you can see, Will Smith is laughing, right? He's clearly amused. He's chill, all right? Will is chill. And then we're going to look at Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, Nick, I want you to unpause it for like 1 second. As you can see, right? Unpause it. There's the eye roll, right? She's looking. She's like, uh-oh. Wait, yeah, a little more. Let it go. And so she's like, I didn't. All right, so right here, pause. We're looking at her face. Her facial expression is clearly like, oh, I wish you didn't say that. She's obviously insecure. I think she, Chris Rock probably doesn't know, but she has some kind of hair loss. Alopecia. I don't know how to say correctly. Correct me in the comments, guys. She has this hair loss thing. It's not like a serious cancer or anything, but it does cause hair loss or something. So I know she's obviously very insecure about that. So yeah, so she's upset, and Chris, Will Smith is laughing. So here you see Chris Rock, like, he's laughing.
That was a nice one.
So now let's pause this. Now before they come back to Will Smith, they don't show you Will Smith go from laughing to anger to walking on stage. They don't even show that part. So that could be media manipulation in itself. You don't know the camera angles that's going on there. It didn't show Will Smith getting up at all. It just shows you Chris Rock's reaction to it. So let's watch a little bit more.
I'm out here. Uh-oh.
He walks up. Now pause. So, yeah, okay. So no hesitation, obviously, right? Now, wait, back it up like 1 second. I want to point out Chris Rock's body language right before... Right. Okay. So one step forward, and he's leaning in. Let's put ourselves in this situation. You see, if this was not scripted, if this was, if this was scripted, don't you think it would make sense? If a guy was coming up to you, and like that, like if this was unplanned, and you're just, he's walking up to you, he might, and you don't know what Will Smith's face was looking like, by the way, because the camera doesn't show you Will Smith's facial expression while he's walking up. You just see the back of him. Now, he walking like a gangster. Don't get me wrong. He's walking up like he's about to hit somebody. Now, if a man is walking up to you and you're standing there like that, don't you think that you would be a little more on the defensive? Chris Rock is completely open to being hit. His hands are literally behind his back.
Sure, but that's also the theory that, there's literally 1,000 people watching what's unfolding right now on the stage.
Yeah, but a guy is walking up to you. So, and look, he's literally leaning in.
I think in Chris Rock's defense, it might be like he's not showing that he's willing to fight. Like he's in a like a sad puppy like sort of stage right now.
If this
to
was
where-
real, I would think like if the boys, like, Chris Rock should be extending his hand for like a handshake or something, about to dab him up, but instead he looks like he's just ready for a slap.
Like,
He
I
looked like
if
he's ready.
Listen, if I think that this is real, the reason why I would feel like Chris Rock would be putting his hands behind his back and leaning forward is because like he's waiting for Will to come up next to him and then for them to talk into each other's ear. Because like if you've ever seen that happen on TV where people be like this talking to each other like that, that's literally how I see Chris Rock doing that. But if this was staged, it would be the perfect. This would also be the perfect angle and the perfect way for Chris Rock to stand to be to embrace some sort of hit.
That's right.
Any type of way. But I also believe that this wasn't staged only because that this literally happened on live TV and that they literally started putting out like getting rid of the audio after this moment. Now we have the uncensored version, as you clearly heard earlier in the video. We have the uncensored version because live TV, when this happened in America, all the audio got erased, or they muted all the audio during this moment. Pretty much right after the smack, they got rid of all the audio, so you couldn't hear anything else. You didn't know what happened. You couldn't hear what Will Smith was saying. You could only see what he was wording. Barely, because when he curses, they did the little blurry thing to try to get rid of his mouth. But yeah, like how Chris is standing, and if this was staged, he's standing as if he's bracing himself to be hit. And I don't believe it's staged, but at the same time, you can see where you could believe that it is.
There's a lot of people right now that are saying that it is staged, and I'm trying to make a case for both because, let's talk about the media manipulation of this. Okay, so it is Hollywood's job to manufacture drama in any way possible, especially for TV ratings. Now, as I was saying before, Will Smith is the perfect target because of the scrutiny that he's been under for the past couple years. And let's just say this is, let's say this is staged. No matter what, it would be a good idea to point at Will Smith because he's the perfect target. And he, his wife literally cheated on him. And he's been being humiliated for the past couple of years. And he's also probably, that could cause psychological damage because he has to be fake because he doesn't want to ruin his nice guy persona. He gets a lot of money. And he just came out with this Bel Air sequel thing, which is, I don't think is a good idea because it's not Uncle Smith. It's not Uncle Phil. That's a remake, a whole different video. But, he just got out of this he just made a bunch of money from this, from this whole thing. So it would make a lot of sense that this would be a good time for him to, maybe show a little bit of a different side of him and, stick up for his wife. And it's also good for like the SJWs and everything because like this is a man who's defending his wife, presumably. So he's speaking out, he's cursing on national television. And this proves a point to many saying, it's trying to make Will look kind of like a hero. And it seems to be making Chris Rock look sort of like a bully. But we'll get into more of that when we talk about if it's actually real. But it seemed, it would make sense why Will Smith would go through this, and it would make sense why there would be a joke to Will Smith and why he would go out and do this outrage thing. And now everybody's talking about it. So the fact that everyone's talking about it means that people are not talking about other things that might be going on in the government right now, this is the perfect distraction, right?
Yeah, because there could be like a million things happening right now. The government could be killing Maxwell, whatever her name is.
Don't let this
Ghislaine
distract
Maxwell.
you that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, like they could be killing Ghislaine Maxwell right now and saying that she killed herself in her jail cell right now as we speak. They could have done it already, and they just haven't looked to find out yet. Just any specific type of controversial thing they wanted to slip under something, it could either have happened already or is happening right now as we speak, and this is the perfect thing to pretty much show because of how different it is and how crazy it is that someone like Will Smith would come up on live television and smack Chris Rock, a comedian, in the face on live television and curse as well.
Yeah, as I was saying, Will Smith is literally the perfect target for something like this to go down. And Chris Rock is not exactly intimidating, right? He is about like 100 and like 50 pounds, and Will Smith's like 200 something pounds, I'm pretty sure, and he's full of muscle. So, you think Will Smith would do this if The Rock was on stage? You think Will Smith would do this if Mike Tyson was on stage?
50 Cent?
Yeah, 50 Cent. You think Will Smith would do this if a certain type of character was on the stage? I personally don't think so. Rock is the perfect guy to have on the stage to have Will Smith go after and do a little slap, knowing that Chris Rock would take it because he's just that everyday funny man. Sort of reminds me of like Eddie Murphy, I guess. Although maybe Eddie Murphy probably wouldn't take that either. So the fact that Chris Rock, once again we're assuming at this point of the video that it's staged. It makes sense to put a guy like Chris Rock in because it's more believable that Chris Rock wouldn't really fight back compared to if you put someone like The Rock up there or Mike Tyson, someone like very intimidating structurally, even Joe Rogan, honestly. If you put one of those guys up there, Will Smith might not have done that, or that would not have been a good idea to script because, theoretically not many people would take a slap like that. By the way, kudos to Chris Rock. And even if it's fake, I think it's a real slap, but Chris Rock still took it like a man, and he didn't get emotional or anything, but we'll get into that in a second. But it's very, very interesting how this plays out. Now, I think the body language is something to be very wary of, but it would make sense for the ratings to get up because now everybody's going to look at the playback. Now everybody's going to be watching this to see who won what. Now everybody's curious, and this is the perfect thing to do. Now, let's go back to a guy named Ricky Gervais. Okay, let's not forget. So Ricky Gervais at that one, the Golden Globes, it was the Oscars, he did say, no, stop, don't do this woke crap. I'm not going to have it. Just accept your award and get off the stage, right? And he made everything so clear. It was funny, but it was also like true. It was like a truism. And no one, of course, people gave him crap on Twitter afterwards and everything, but no one came up to him and slapped him. There has been things that have been said way worse than that little G.I. Jane joke that he pulled on Jada, which was not even that bad of a joke. I really don't think. Nick, do you think that joke was even that serious?
I think he was a bit overreacting. But once you remember, it's Hollywood. Bad publicity is still publicity nonetheless.
It's true.
So. Yeah, because honestly, I don't even think this was a horrible joke, or I don't even think it was even that good of a joke either. I think it was just a joke that was perfect in the moment. That
the audience was laughing.
He probably literally thought of it off of his head. That's kind of a pun. Anyway, he probably just thought of it like right on the spot and it went for it. And that's probably why he was like, oh, that was a good one, whatever. Because he probably just thought of it right there in the moment.
So you're saying that joke smacked him out of nowhere as he was standing up there?
Legit, yes. 100%. And so I feel like, because when comedians, especially comedians that do these things, sometimes they won't have all of their comedic lines like already on a projector. Because I'm pretty sure they have like a projector or whatever that they read whatever they're supposed to say, and so they probably don't have all of their jokes on there. And so Chris Rock probably had that one not on the thing, and he probably just said it and probably got everybody laughing because it bounced off of another joke he probably had on there with whatever he said in the beginning of the video with what was it, Angelina Jolie and whatever. Anyway, yeah. So he probably got he probably said that. Then he found that joke in his head, wanted to say it because that's what comedians do. And someone didn't take it well, and with emotionalism, Will Smith went for the slap on it.
It sounded like a lot of people didn't take it well, because if you heard him from I'm going to roll it back, because if you heard him from him explaining afterwards that the joke wasn't that bad.
I'm also going to say that if this was not scripted, I do not believe, if this was scripted, I don't think the audience would have been involved. I think this would be something, if this was scripted, it would be something between Chris Rock, Will Smith, maybe Jada Pinkett Smith, and probably the producers and people who are organizing this. I don't think I think the crowd probably is a genuine reaction. So I would say that.
I think so too.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
And the crowd was laughing. Will Smith was laughing, but Jada was not.
Wait, and then they laugh harder. And they laugh harder because of him.
Yeah. Chris Rock is
And
funny.
he had to correct himself, saying, oh, that wasn't that bad of a joke. So
yeah, because that's why I'm thinking that he put that on top of his head. That literally came from right here, right in the moment, and he probably just said it. That's probably was like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Judging by that,
and it really wasn't that bad of a joke.
Reaction to that wasn't great.
Yeah,
but I think he was looking at Jada because they're right up front, and so he probably
how
sees
interesting Jada. How they're put right up front. Isn't that interesting?
Well, they're the nominees, so I'm sure.
But still, though, how convenient is it for Will Smith to just walk up there so quick and get a good slap in there? And he walks back, and I'm gonna still say, Will Smith is a great actor. So if this was staged, Will Smith is a good actor to pull it off, and it does look believable. Definitely, I think there are some moments that are genuine. Now let's go to the video where he's accepting the award.
Will
speech.
Smith won the Oscar, And this
okay,
is
guys, yeah.
his
I don't
speech.
remember which. Well, it
So-
was the Oscar for him being the guy in the
I don't remember.
little. Or
Nobody's
Little
watching the
Richie
Oscars. They're only watching
or-
this.
Yeah,
This is also a 6-minute long video, just letting you know. So
right.
And the Oscar goes to
Me.
King Richard.
Yeah, King
Of
Richard.
course he won. Yeah, right. Makes sense. Him and Jada, they chilling. Will Smith is probably not going to get head that night. Probably not. He tried though.
Or maybe he's gonna get all the head.
The bald head.
Man, they should have been divorced, bro. He shouldn't be getting nothing. Is that John Travolta?
No, I don't even know.
Hey, Doctor
Hey.
Strange. We're doing like our live reaction. See, we would not have watched this if it wasn't for this incident. What do you know?
Hell, we didn't even know the Oscars was going on.
I didn't. Yeah, so let's fast forward a little bit because I want to go to like where he starts crying and shit. Yeah, he watched some movie that I didn't even know existed. So that's another thing. I think he wanted to bring attention to like a movie that he did that I didn't even know existed.
In this moment, I am over
He's already getting emotional.
what God is calling on me to do and be in this world.
The slapper of Chris Rock.
Making this film, I got to protect Ingenue Ellis, who was one of the most strongest, most delicate people I've ever met. I got to protect Sanaya and Demi, the two actresses that played Venus and
Yeah, so he crying pretty well. Here, let's fast forward a little bit to he cries a little bit more, and then I want to go to like where he starts like kind of like laughing.
And what I loved, thank you, D. Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
Pause real quick. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
I'll try to put it in as a little clip as I'm talking right now, but apparently during the commercial break after the whole situation when he slapped Chris Rock, there was a moment where Will Smith was taken to the side by Denzel and a few other I think it was a few other actors. I can't remember
I
their
think it was
names
like
right
Steve
now.
Perry or something.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry and someone else. They pulled him to the side and started talking to him and stuff and trying to calm him down and everything after the whole situation. So this is, I think, is where Denzel told him all whatever he's about to tell him and everything that he's saying right now about Denzel and probably the whole situation. So this is probably where all of this comes back together. There's the man.
Training Day.
What
Love
did you-
that. I love him.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
He was great in that one movie.
He was great in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so Will Smith's crying. Great actor.
I want to be a vessel for love. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena.
Okay.
I hope they didn't see that.
Let's fast forward a little bit, actually. Let's fast forward.
I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena and the entire Williams
Yeah, right there's fine.
There you go.
Yeah.
with your
I'll put it at the
story.
4-minute mark.
Yeah, that's fine. So he's still crying, right?
This is a beautiful moment, and I'm not.
This was Will Smith's first ever Oscar, by the way.
Yeah. It's gonna be well remembered.
For him and everybody all.
Yeah.
Being able to shine light on all of the people, Tim and Trevor and Zach and Sanaya and Demi and Ingenue and the entire cast and crew of King Richard and Venus and Serena, the entire.
So the crying is starting to stop right there, I think. People clapping. He like, alright.
Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said. I look like
Cope. He's coping.
like they said.
Coping alert.
But love will make you do crazy things.
Oh, we're gonna get into that statement. Oh, we're gonna get there. Look at that hoe. I mean Jada.
To my mother,
It's like you could physically see him go through like the 7 stages of like grief as this is going on. This is him accepting.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all this Will Smith stuff, guys. Don't you worry. We have a lot to say.
watch it with.
let's fast forward a little bit because we don't want to get copyright strike.
It's almost over.
I think when he goes towards the ending, he starts like laughing a little bit.
It's about over. 20 seconds would be walking up.
Richard and Oracene, the entire Williams family. Thank you. Hope Gang Academy invites me back. Thank you.
Yeah, he goes and he's starting to laugh. He's like, all right, good. Okay, so thoughts?
Yeah. Well, honestly, okay. So listen, if I was at an Academy Award show, and I was nominated
The Oscars.
for if
Like
I was
the
at
biggest
if I was at an
award
Oscar,
show.
if I was at the Oscars, because I was nominated for an award, and I've never gotten an award, and I was in it for like, if I've been in the game for like 20 plus years, never got one, and then I got one, I'd probably be emotional too. But at the same time, with everything that happened in earlier in the night, I don't know for sure what is specifically triggering the emotional aspects from the speech. Now it could have been from what he was saying, and it could have triggered something within him to start tearing up and getting emotional. That could be true, but it also could
Will
be
Smith's
from
been crying for years though too, so we got to remember Will Smith is just an emotional
There you go,
dude.
guys.
Yeah.
If you want to win an Oscar, all you have to do is slap the shit out of Chris Rock,
and then start crying.
and then start crying.
Well, to be
Oscar.
fair, Will Smith has been crying for years. I mean, when he was on that Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Shakur, he was literally like about to cry.
And then they made a meme out.
Yeah, Will Smith has been memed.
Honestly, that was a good meme. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
So,
sorry.
Assuming
That's the thing about the internet; it likes to just tear
Yeah.
people apart.
And the memes for this have been really good too.
yeah, the memes are very impressive.
It's true. Everybody
And
does hate Chris.
But assuming this is but assuming this has been staged, it was properly. Somebody might have written it, and they wrote it good. And I think Will Smith's the perfect actor to pull it off. Chris Rock is also a great actor. Sometimes he's not the best, but he is a pretty good comedian. So it would make sense that would happen. And I think it's very important to be aware of the media, of anything you consume, because as I said, Hollywood is known for Hollywood is fake. And a lot of actors have to be fake in movies, and they have to be fake on set. They have to be fake during interviews. People don't know what kind of serious stuff goes behind the scenes. And I think, scripted or not, Will Smith is hurting inside. And we're going to jump into the real portion about right now. So we're going to, as of this moment forward, we're going to assume that this whole thing is real. And we're going to assume at this point that things got out of hand after Chris Rock made that joke. And we're going to talk about the dynamics between Will Smith going unhinged and Chris Rock being an actual man and handling it like a G. Now, starting now, so let's just assume it's real now. So Will Smith basically, so let's go back to the clip.
I wanna also point out that this video came out yesterday and had made 57 million views.
And it makes sense
And
because
this is-
people love drama.
And this is from a news. What is it from a news?
Guardian.
Guardian News. So this is from a Guardian News YouTube page.
They only have
And-
2 million
and-
subscribers, and they're getting like, how many views does it have right now?
If it over 57. So but
57
like,
million?
there's so
Damn.
many more videos of this that have probably just about the same amount. There's so many people watching this, and so many people watching this multiple times from different.
Let's watch
websites?
Nick, click on that CNN or open up another tab and go.
What am I doing?
New tab. Go to CNN. 3 words for Will Smith. Go on YouTube.
CNN.
Sorry, go to YouTube.com first. I'm sorry.
Come on, bro. Anyway, while Nick is doing
Yeah,
that,
YouTube.com.
Let me say something. If this was real or fake, right? If this was real, this happened in real life. Comedy, you can now see that comedy is slowly dying, and I don't think comedy can really last much longer in its state that it has been. And I feel like comedy just can't be the same. Now let's watch this.
How do you, and I just want to be clear, there's so many vectors in this story, and I wonder how you're making sense of it this morning.
I got 3 words for you. Use your words, Will. You are an actor.
Okay, so that's all we needed from that clip. Okay.
Hold on, pause that.
Use your words.
Pause it. That was 4 words. She said, "Use your words, Will."
Oh,
I have 3 words for you. Use your words, Will.
She's dumb. But
Anyway,
so okay, let's dissect. We were going over before how. All right, you could pause it. So he makes the joke. Jada does her little eye roll. She's not amused. Jada is not amused. And Will Smith was amused, and he was having a good time. He was
Absolutely.
like, or at least he looked like he was enjoying the joke. But Jada was like, "Oh, Will Smith, if you don't do something about this, I ain't gonna fuck you for the next 10 years, boy."
She took the Will Smith remote control and then put him in attack mode.
Execute Order 66.
Execute
This
Order Rock.
motherfucker on the stage, kill him.
Kill him now.
Now we have to right now let's dive into the psychological damage of the fallen beta male called Will Smith. Let's go into why Will Smith would do this, okay? I pointed out before that for years now, Will Smith has been a laughingstock, the good guy, nice guy laughingstock of Hollywood. There's a bunch of memes about him, crapping on him. His wife boning this dude named August in an entanglement, cheating on Will Smith, assuming that Will Smith is not banging other girls because that's unpopular in Hollywood for a male to be banging multiple women, even though Will Smith has said in another interview that he would have a hierarchy or whatever he called it, a harem of women.
Harem, yeah.
Yeah. So, assuming that he's not and he's just lonely old Will, Jada is still disrespecting Will. Jada has still disrespected Will by banging this dude August. So, and when Will had that red table talk, something happened. You could tell. Let's actually pull that up. Pull up the red table talk. We need to go back in time and discover why this all makes sense. Why Will Smith would be the guy to do something like this, and why it's so integral that we talk about men's health.
Yeah, and especially with what has happened here, because we don't see what happens in the video itself. When he slaps Chris, we don't see what happens of Will's actual facial expressions in between him laughing and him getting up. So we don't know, like, if he looked at her and then that's when he got serious, or like if he was laughing because he was so angry and then just got up.
Yeah, right now we're gonna dissect quickly a 4-minute video called Jada Pinkett Smith breaking Will for 4 minutes straight. So let's
I love this video.
You've been on a hell of a journey with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's healing that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Healing.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
what
pause
happened,
it.
Jada?
So Jada is healing and banging dudes, and Will Smith is just he's in pain. Now remember what I told you guys. I'm gonna point this out. It's very important. People in Hollywood gotta be fake for the cameras. They ain't gonna tell you what's going on behind the scenes. They're gonna put on smiles. They're gonna tell you everything's all good. And behind the scenes, there's a lot of crap going on that you guys and the general public would never expect or would never know, because there's some things that actors just don't share. When Robin Williams killed himself, nobody saw it coming. Nobody knew Robin Williams' health was in such despair. And when he did kill himself, everybody, it was one of the most saddest things in latest history of suicides for actors, because people do generally, especially for men, they're not coming out saying what's going on with them. And Will Smith is, believe it or not, he's in a lot of pain, and not many people know. And he should have been cheating on Jada for years now. He should have been divorced that ass. But we all know, especially in California, Jada would get half of Will's money. She can lose all of his stuff, and it's going to drag him down an even darker path. The family will be destroyed. The whole family unit. His kids are already screwed up right now as it is. I mean, one of them's vegan. I don't know. No, I'm just joking. But
Come on, bro.
I was joking. But meat eater here. The whole family dynamic will be screwed, and Will Smith is already in a lot of pain. So let's continue with the video.
Okay, so I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August.
Friendship.
And
Okay.
we actually became really, really good friends.
Yeah.
And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health.
Yeah, I have to
his
come. I need help doing that.
mental
Can't do that alone.
state. And we found all those different resources, to
Resources.
help pull him through.
Boobies.
And from there,
He mad. Look at his face.
You
He's
and
mad.
I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
That particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah. I really felt like we could be over.
She was sucking dick.
Yeah,
honestly, she
no,
Sucking
we
good
were
dick. She ain't
And
probably
then what
bad
did you
at
do,
it.
Jada?
Well,
They should've been over.
I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
And I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement,
Yes. Yes.
a relationship.
Yes. It was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely.
So
We
sex.
decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy.
I was
By
in
dick.
a lot of pain,
Dick.
and I was very broken. Now, in the
August
process
50, huh?
of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. And luckily
You
enough,
make cheating sound profound.
you and I were also going through a process of healing in a much different manner. I would
During that time, launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
Husband, now I got to be with you
Okay, we
at
should
the press
I think
conference.
the audience. Okay, so you guys are seeing where Will Smith has come from, right? Will Smith has been disturbed by this woman pretty much, and you know it's very important that we understand that Will Smith is secretly definitely going through some pain with this. Now let's Will Smith could be banging other chicks too, and maybe that could be causing even further damage in their relationship. But what we do know is that Jada definitely be sucking dick out here. Her and August, they went through some stuff, and Will Smith obviously, and they're trying to work it out. I bet they're trying to go to the couples therapy. But once a woman does that to a man, especially when you try to play the good guy, nice guy, being fake in Hollywood, it's still gonna damage your mental health. Will Smith is indeed in trouble. So now let's go back to the clip of Chris Rock saying this thing, right? And so Chris Rock makes this joke, and Will Smith is simply not having it. So what Will Smith does is completely loses his mind. Let's just replay once again. He's walking up, right? He just gets up. He's because Will Smith's walking up. He looks mad as fuck right now. Look, he's walking up, and boom, he hits him right in the face. Now let's talk about the dynamics between Will versus Chris Rock. Okay, so Chris Rock took this. Let's talk about real quick what Chris Rock could have done. He could have socked him right in the back of the head when he started walking back. He could have started cursing at him. It could have been a whole fight right there. Now, that could have been the end of it. But what Chris Rock did, here's the lesson. This is where our channel comes in, and the lessons of our channel comes in. That is what being a man is about. It's about taking these things that happen sometimes and handling it the best way possible. Now, if Chris Rock started fighting back, that would have been some dire consequences for him. It would have made him look more like a bully, for getting Will Smith to go up, hit him, and all that. But he stood his ground like a man, and he kept going, and he was smiling. Now you can tell that Chris Rock was startled, right? He started. Let's go to that where he doesn't even know what he's saying. Let's talk about that.
This one right now.
Yeah, right here, just for me.
Yeah, so he's trying to play it off. So now he could be mad as fuck right now. He could be going crazy. He could be cursing and be like, "Well, what's wrong with you, bro?" He could, but instead he plays it off. He acted like it didn't happen. He acted like some fun thing going on. He just acted. He's just a normal day, and he tries to make a joke out of it. He's smiling. His hands are still behind his back. He didn't fall down. He didn't make some crazy kind of, weird example of it. But he took it. It was not an intense slap. Like, it was a slap, but it wasn't like a hardcore knock you out kind of slap. You would think for a guy who trained to be Muhammad Ali in that movie, you think he'd have better skills than that. But whatever. That's besides the point. But Chris Rock took
got
it.
a smile on his face.
But he took it. Mike, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, honestly, Chris Rock did the best thing that he could, and was that trying to do exactly what he does is be a comedian. So he took Will Smith's emotionalism and his aggression and flipped it, and pretty much once Will Smith went back and started walking away, he was like, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, and was laughing because he's trying. Now he's gonna try to see if he can make this whole thing into a bit. And if we continue, and then Will Smith's already now sitting down, and now Will Smith is starting to scream and curse, and so now Will Smith is getting emotional, and Chris Rock does the greatest thing.
Wow, dude.
He said, "Wow, dude," like as in like, "Wow, are you being serious right now? Is this really where we're going?"
He like chill.
And, yeah. And then Will Smith is like, "Yes."
A G.I. Jane jump.
You can see the chick from Black Panther in the background. She like, oh, what's because I really don't think the audience would be, even if it was scripted.
The audience has no clue
yeah.
what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And so even if it was staged, like they wouldn't have known anyway. But the thing is that he was like, it was just a joke. Like he was trying to say
it wasn't even a bad joke.
Yeah,
either.
he was just saying, hey, listen, this was a joke. That it was all that was. It was a joke because comedy comedy is full of jokes, and none of it really matters because it's just to entertain. But when it gets serious for some people just get too emotional about it and they act out. And this is why Jada and Will acted out in this way. And even though he acted out in this way, it wasn't supposed to be attacking them. These jokes aren't supposed to be attacking. They're just supposed to be jokes for people to make fun of in the moment. And when Will got up and got emotional and slapped him, it pretty much broke that barrier of comedy. And now it's not comedy anymore. Now this is serious. Now there's no hilarity in the situation, other than people watching it from behind, in after the fact and seeing how funny that the situation actually was in full.
And this definitely, what he's about to say now, the second part definitely breaks that, because you could just hear the pure anger.
Yeah.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah, especially fucking mouth.
Yeah, remember, Will Smith doesn't even curse in his rap songs, right? He's not really one to do that. That's why it's such a major, it's such a major shift from the nice guy persona that Will Smith puts on in fake-ass Hollywood. And now he's going into this territory. He cursed in on live TV, and Chris Rock is like, bro, what? Like, he doesn't even know what to, he's like, okay, dude, chill. I'm not even, because he's handling it like a man should. He's not too emotional about it. He's like, all right, we cool. It's all good. So Chris Rock, mad props to him, because he handled it like a champion. He didn't get emotional about it. He was chill, and he kept going on like nothing ever happened. So props to him. Will Smith, on the other hand, now we need to talk about. Let's go back to mental health, right? There's only
he definitely overreacted. That's
yeah. I think Will Smith is in the wrong either way.
If anybody ever watched like the Oscars or like an award show, like everybody's always like poking fun at like other people. It's always like
Ricky Gervais literally roasted the entirety of Hollywood.
You know how many
like
Comedy Central roasts there
and
has
everybody
been?
just kept a smile on their face.
Yeah, like
remember the Charlie Sheen roast was way worse than this. Whoa. The Charlie Sheen roast on Comedy Central and the Bob Saget one and the
that's really
all
it.
of those.
Like, these award shows are just little roasts of everybody who's possibly like about to be famous and get an award.
But remember, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have such a rough marriage that any little joke will be harmful, because Will Smith. Okay, we need to talk about how much a man can really take before he snaps. So remember, I'm saying Will Smith is in some bad mental health behind the scenes. I think this is definite affirmative. He needs some serious help. And Will Smith, please don't look at the memes that people are making about you right now, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And the Academy right now is thinking about taking away the title of the Oscar that he got because of this behavior.
Yeah.
So
I seen that.
So it may come at it's great drama and it's great for the views and everything, but it's not good on Will's reputation.
And
it's
that
gonna
would suck,
affect him.
because that was his first ever Oscar he won, and he's about to get it removed from him because he overreacted.
Because he got
on a
emotional
joke.
like a bitch. Will Smith became emotional. You know what? People are making fun of Will Smith, but let me tell you, most of you are Will Smith. So there's a gem for you guys. Most of you guys are Will Smith, and most of you guys, I see. Listen, I'm not going. A lot of you guys can't handle women. Okay, so we need to talk about that. That's very important. We got to go there, because this really, once again, as I said, we're assuming this is all real. So we need to assume that Will Smith is in a bad place, and he's a bad place because he can't handle his woman. His woman be banging this dude August because of a lack of respect for Will.
Assuming that Will isn't banging anyone else either, because he hasn't publicly said anything about it.
Yeah, this is when we gotta get. This is when we gotta get
real. We're assuming
Yeah.
that he's not doing anything, but Jada was or still is. I don't even know at this point.
This is when we gotta get real with you guys, and this is a teachable moment. A lot of you guys don't know what it's like to truly deal with a woman that doesn't have respect for you. A lot of you guys get way too emotional really, really quick. In fact, let's go. So the other day I got a text message from. We're gonna do a video about this, by the way, Mike. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I got a text message from this girl, asking me for advice, which we're gonna do a video on. We'll go into more details later. Basically, she's in this abusive relationship, and she doesn't know how to handle it, and she could leave. The reason she's abusive is because her man doesn't know how to handle her, because he resorts to his emotional outbursts instead of rational thinking. Just like what Will Smith did right here. He literally got up. He went from laughing. He was all cool. Remember, I say this for a reason. A lot of you guys, in the audience watching this, you guys are Will Smith. A lot of you guys do these crazy outbursts when it comes to a woman, because you can't handle a woman, because you can't handle yourself, because you don't know yourself. Will Smith is not able to cope with the whole situation, which is why that little joke got real serious real fast. And imagine if Will Smith was on hinge as fuck and he had a gun on him. He pulls out the gun. and,
Tupac him.
No, we laugh about this, but this could be serious.
Yeah, it's so serious.
What if instead of a slap, it was a punch to the throat and Chris Rock drops dead? What if he punches him so hard in the heart that, let's just say, because Will Smith's not a weak guy. He's strong. And he's done a lot of movie roles that required him to get strong. He has the muscle behind him. Well, if he wanted to, he could knock Chris out, give him a good concussion, maybe kill the man. And he didn't see it coming, right? So Will Smith, instead of a slap, it could have been a punch. It could have been a shot. It could have been a baseball bat to the head. It could have been a knife. Life can get real fast, and a lot of you guys don't realize.
Just turn the Oscars into medieval time.
You guys don't know what a lot of these dudes out here are going through. There's a lot of mental health trauma going on, and if you mess with the wrong guy at the wrong time, especially when he has some kind of weapon on him, your life is done. This may be a joke that Chris Rock didn't think it would go wrong, but it did, and it was just a simple slap. But that's because Will Smith has that good guy in him, but there's also a dark side that he just untapped the brink of. He has a dark, deep desire in his head to get revenge because Will Smith has been through a lot of crap. Will Smith has been through a lot of crap. And life can get real dark real fast if you guys don't know how to handle yourselves. A lot of guys in general don't know how to handle their women's crap. So it comes out like little outbursts like this. So he comes up to Chris Rock and he does this little slap. The media's all over it. And people are making memes out of it and jokes, but this could have been a lot worse. Chris Rock could be dead because remember, when Will gets home that we don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to get into an argument or something. Maybe Jada's going to be like, maybe you should not have hit Chris Rock. That was a little mean of you. You didn't have to take it that serious. And Will Smith was like, oh, well, I was just trying to defend you. And then it could have been some big fight. Will Smith goes crazy, hits, you really don't know.
No, we didn't get her reaction to this whole thing the entire time, which is surprising.
She could have been either really wet or she got really dry. She's like, man, Will, so why'd you do that? Now you made us look dumb. Now you're just an emotional idiot, and you made us look dumb.
You just lost that Oscar, you buffoon.
yeah, you're dumb. But you got. It's very important to stress that Will Smith's going through some dark stuff, and you don't know how much a man can really take until he snaps. You guys got to be careful who you're dealing with out there and who you joke with.
Oh yeah.
And remember, we're in a very emotional world right now, so you don't know that if you push a guy to a certain point. Remember, Will Smith went from 0 to 100 and came up and slapped the hell out of him, right? 0 to 100 just like that. Nobody saw it coming. The audience, ain't no security coming to pull Will Smith off him, which they probably would have. But it could have been a scrapple. He could have killed Chris Rock right there. And the reason for that is because Will Smith is in a deep, dark place, and he doesn't know how to handle stuff like that. He's in an emotional state. And you guys don't know this because remember, in Hollywood, you got to be fake, but Will Smith is probably going through some real shit. And the fact that he acted that way because of a simple G.I. Jane joke, that says a lot about who Will Smith is as a man rather than Chris Rock as a man. One little joke is all right, and Will Smith could have been like, whatever. But he took that way too seriously. I do think that Will Smith was in the wrong. And whether it's scripted or real, he did definitely, he should not have done that. He could have, what I would have done if I was Will, and it was real, I would have been like, Chris Rock, when the show's over, maybe I would have whispered in his ear. I would have been like, Chris, we got to talk about this after the show. Come meet me in the back alley, or we can settle this later. But to do it right, he got heated. He couldn't handle himself. He was emotionally uncomposed. And what did he do? It could have cost him an Oscar. It could have cost him, he could have been a murderer. He could have been the next Alec Baldwin. It's true. He could have been the next Alec Baldwin. He could have killed somebody by accident. And,
And then said it wasn't his fault.
a lot of women make you guys, I'm talking to the audience here. A lot of women make you guys do some crazy stuff. I've heard horror stories of guys that just start unloading their fists on women, and you bruise them, you beat them, you curse them out. You curse them out through text messages, and I've seen so many examples of you guys who cannot handle a woman to the fact that you beat her down when she's weaker. If you are dealing with a woman and she's disrespecting you, you eject. You get out of there because you don't want to deal with a woman who's not respecting you. Jada Pinkett Smith has been disrespecting Will Smith for years, and Will Smith finally comes out. Now, Chris Rock was just there at the point. It could have been anyone standing on that stage. It had to be him, but Will Smith has all this rage inside, and it had to come out on somebody. It just so happened that Chris Rock was standing there. It was the right time. It was the right place, and it was in front of a live studio audience. This is a good time to Will Smith to show the world, I'm not taking your shit no more. Don't you ever disrespect me like that again. Because eventually, If you poke the lion and he's in the cage, one day the lion's gonna break out of that cage and somebody gonna get hurt. It was just a simple slap at this point, but it could have been a lot worse and a lot more deadly.
And you also got to take it this way too. And I think I said this earlier also, because we see Will laughing at the joke. Jada was not laughing. And we said this a lot, that she really wasn't laughing, but he was. Now, and I think I said this earlier, where he could have been laughing at the joke as thinking it was funny, and then looked over at Jada, saw her not laughing and very insecure about the situation, and could have gotten real pissed off, and then that's why he got up. Or he could have been laughing but enraged in the fact that it was a joke on Jada, and got up, because we don't see him. You don't see his facial expression change. We don't see any of that change in a shot. All we see is him laughing, her not laughing. It goes back to Chris Rock, and then we know that Will Smith gets up because we hear Chris start saying, "Oh, Richard," and he gets up and starts walking over to him. We don't see his facial expressions. We don't see his body language in that moment of when he gets up, because it just happens to be on live TV, and sometimes people who are in charge of live television they can't always get to the right angles at the right time. They can't switch over. And sometimes you don't want to switch over to those specific angles, because sometimes those things are not going to be good for television because of specific rules and things that are happening. Things that happen on TV. Certain things you can't show or whatever. So they probably are trying to just show the actual show and just do the things that they're supposed to be doing, instead of trying to show the little dramas that are happening within the crowd. They try to just show the people as a reaction and then go back to Chris for him to finish what he was supposed to say. But of course, that this happened instead. And so we don't know, for if Will was okay and then saw Jada get mad and then got enraged and emotional and did that, or if he was already mad and emotional and it just fueled him more that Jada was already upset and he got up anyway. And what you were talking about, Andrew, with Will not being okay because of everything that's gone on in the last couple of years with him and Jada, he's probably going insane. And so when something comes up with Jada, he doesn't want any of that stuff to, come out with him, but he just stupidly goes up to Chris Rock and slaps him on live TV, and which made it pretty much worse for him, because now that he has not only does he have to deal with his relationship and everything that's going on behind the scenes, and everyone in the country and everyone else knowing about whatever's going on, now he has to deal with everyone else also knowing that he slapped Chris Rock over a joke, over comedy, because now comedy is pretty much at this point in time, comedy does not exist anymore. Comedy is just something that we've taken so much for granted that now it's not even fun anymore, because people can't even make jokes to be entertaining. people are making jokes to be entertaining, like Chris Rock. Chris Rock is trying to entertain the people that are there and the people that are watching, but now people are getting way too strung up on these jokes. People are getting very emotional about the jokes and are attacking people that are doing the jokes over the jokes, and now it's not fun anymore. Why would someone want to go to a comedy store or like a comedy club to watch people be funny and entertaining just to get mad? Everyone gets so emotional, and we've talked about emotionalism a lot on the channel, where everyone gets emotional about the stupidest things, and a lot of people don't understand why they do it, but they do, and everyone gets emotional, triggered. But that's literally what comedy is. Comedy is supposed to be funny and be outrageous for entertainment purposes, and it's not supposed to attack. Comedy people are not trying to attack anybody, and no, comedy people aren't trying to pull anybody down. They're just trying to entertain everyone. If it's at somebody's expense, it's not supposed to be harmful to them. They're not trying to attack them. They're only using whatever that's there in the area, or that they can see, and using it as a jumping point for a bit, or a jumping point for a punchline. It's all that really is, and it's not really trying to be something to hurt somebody. It's just for all in good fun in the entertainment. And I'd love for a comedian like Chris Rock, or who's another good comedian like Joe Rogan, whoever, any funny comedian, Dave Chappelle, whoever.
Even Richard Pryor back in the day.
I'd love for any of them to point out me in a crowd and just start roasting me. I'd love it. I'd be fucking crying my eyes out in laughter because they picked me out of everyone in the crowd to roast and to use for their bid. I'd love that.
They do it out of respect.
I'd love that, right? And I don't understand. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes they're just too hurt by it. And I understand maybe you could be a little too hurt by a joke, but that doesn't mean that you can get up and you can physically assault someone that's making the joke over a joke that's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to just be for fun.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian. Give him a break.
Yeah, like comedy nowadays, after this moment, comedy is now a dying art, and it will continue to die until, comedy is just not allowed to be a thing anymore. Because this is the turning point where things are going to start going different, I feel.
It is dying. A lot of people can't take a joke. We live in a very emotional world, and I was just like I was saying before, a lot of you guys literally are Will Smith. Nick, what are some of your thoughts on this? So,
I just got a news briefing that just happened right now. Will Smith apologizes to Chris Rock. I was out of line and I was wrong, and apparently he posted a formal apology on.
Okay, let's read out the apology, and then Mike will edit it. Nick, is your laptop supposed to do that?
Let me see if I can find what he said. He wrote, "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable."
But Jada made him write this.
Yeah. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jade's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally.
Oh,
yes, you did.
Yeah, well, that is for damn sure.
I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness.
You okay?
I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress, he wrote.
May you be working for. Okay, we're gonna now. Good. I'm glad you got that news.
This was breaking news.
Now we get to dissect this even more. So let's get further into. This is perfect because this actually makes sense. An emotional dude like Will Smith, remember, 0 to 100. Yesterday he mad. Today he's sorry. He's apologizing. You know what? A lot of you guys do this when you hit women. You know that? A lot of you guys, you hit a woman, you smack her down, you bruise the hell out of her. And the next day, oh my God, baby, I am so sorry. I should not have hit you. It won't happen again. You know, it sounds like that. A lot of this would not have happened if Will Smith had emotional self-control over a joke. Now, assuming it's real, the reason all of this happened and that he's in danger of losing his Oscars is because he got emotionally out of line. He went from 0 to 100. He's afraid. He has a scarcity mindset that Jada Pinkett Smith is going to leave him, possibly take half his shit in a divorce, ruin the family dynamic they have, and maybe cheat on him again with a different rapper or Tupac's younger brother. I don't know. Like, this is what a lot of guys do. They get mad. They throw a hissy fit. They go in rage mode, and then once it's over and they get in trouble, they face the consequences, and they're like, oh my God, I messed up. And it's good that he's apologizing, so that's a good thing in this case because he was in the wrong. So Mike and I, we've done a video before on why you should not apologize, but in this case, he really did screw up. He got emotional, and he was in the wrong, and he slapped the hell out of this dude. And now he has to face the consequences of his actions by possibly losing the award, getting all the hit back from all the critics. And now he's apologizing, saying, oh, well, I get very personal when people mention my wife's condition. Okay, you're acting like it's not stage 4 cancer. It's not, it's not good, but it's not like the end of the world. And Jada seems to be holding off pretty well. Of course, I'm sure she's crying behind the scenes.
Instagram post from a day ago. Will Smith, me, and Jada Pinkett Smith got all dressed up to choose chaos.
Ironic.
Is what was posted on his Instagram.
Yeah, but like once again, it's good that he apologized. But what I'm talking about is why he had to apologize, why he did, why this happened in the first place. literally this happens all the time. This guy's going to rage mode, and then the logic sits in, right? Because this is what's happening. Men are being raised like women over here. We got guys who put emotion before logic, emotion before reason. Because here's how it goes. Men go from instinct, logic, instinct, reason, emotion. And women is instinct, emotion, and then reason. So what Will Smith was basically what a woman would do. He got crazy. His instinct was like, oh, I gotta, yeah. The memes are great.
Memes begin.
Will Smith got angry. And, because that's a lot of these dudes are conditioned these days to just be like women. So he got angry, he pulled his little hissy fit, and then he's sitting back the next day like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or Jada slapped him upside the head once they got out. Like, why'd you do that, Will Smith? Why'd you do that? And now we look like dumb. And he's like,
defend our honor.
I mean, a lot of people are not, this is going to be remembered for some of the wrong reasons.
That Oscar for me.
But now he's apologizing. Now he's thinking about the rationality of what he did. Now he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my fault. Well, Will Smith, you would not have to apologize if you just thought for 2 seconds the consequences that would happen, of the things to come. Ask yourself this: was slapping Chris Rock worth it? Was it worth going up there defending what? I would say it would be worth it only if Jada was not such a disrespectful, woman disrespectful wife to Will Smith. If she never banged this dude August, if they didn't have some entanglement, I would say, all right, maybe Will Smith would be justified. But the fact that Jada constantly disrespects her husband all the time, she's literally a feminist. This is confirmed. She's a feminist that does not, and she, I'm sure in the behind the scenes, she probably bossing Will Smith around. He probably bends to her every whim. He probably afraid to lose her. And this is what happens. This is exactly what happens.
Now, here's a very good question for you. Imagine you being the head of the Oscars, like running the Oscars, right? Everybody has to follow certain rules and regulations.
That's right. He broke the rules.
Would you take away Will Smith's Oscar for his behavior?
I would.
You would.
I would, because doing that on live television, they can lose a lot of. The Oscars can lose a lot of promotion. They can lose a lot of ad revenue from commercials. They can lose a lot of money because of this specific thing. They had to mute audio from the live feed because of this specific incident. Granted, it did publicize the Oscars some sort, but in the wrong way. It's not what the Oscars is about. The Oscars is about movies, and it's about the craft of making movies. And granted, now that the Oscars are pretty much run by, I think, something completely different now. This might be their tactic. Who knows? That they're okay with it. But if it was me and I was the head of the people who do the Oscars, and if I had the ability to remove an Oscar, I'd remove it from Will. Not because I hate him or because, he's a little bitch, but because of the actions that he made. If he could sit for 2 seconds without getting up and thought about it before actually doing the thing he did and decided to not do it, then there wouldn't be any issue. But he got up, he got emotional, he got up and slapped him across his face, throwing F-bombs around, getting real emotional about it. That calls for revocation of his Oscar, in my eyes.
If I'm answering the question from a business perspective, it seems that it would be a better idea to take away the Oscar, because sometimes a man has to learn his mistakes through force, and sometimes you just have to do what is necessary. As Mike said, I'm sure the thing would probably be losing a bunch of ratings, and I think it would be appropriate to take away the award at that point, because this is a lesson for all men to learn on controlling themselves and really not doing these emotional outbursts. And it goes against the rules as well.
Disagree with you too.
Oh, good. Hot take.
But honestly, I believe you. And honestly, I believe that they won't either. But I want to.
I don't think they will.
I want to hear you.
I'm gonna go as a spiritual and a business point of view on this. Spiritually, I don't think Will Smith should lose his Oscar. Because
Why?
He worked very hard to get his first ever Oscar.
Wow.
Here, and I think
a lot of people worked hard to build on houses in New Jersey, and Hurricane Sandy destroyed it.
And I think the taintness of the Oscar, that what he had to do to deserve it, and slapping Chris Rock in the face, I think that's exactly what he needs to get his mind straight. It was like, here's your Oscar, but was it really worth it at that point? From a business point of view, it is, yes, it's in bad taste. However, there's so many people now interested in the Oscars.
But I feel like they're not even interested in the Oscars because of the Oscars. I think they're interested in the Oscars because of the slap heard around the world. I think it's because of that moment. And granted, I believe that they won't revoke it because I feel like that they're going to accept Will's apology and they're just going to leave it at that.
That's what I think.
And just let the cycle listen, because they're going to let the cycle continue of emotionalism.
Yeah.
That's going on because everyone is emotional, including Will Smith. Will Smith is the epitome of an emotionalism, and I feel that if they leave Will with the Oscar, it's like having a kid freaking going crazy in Walmart, having a tantrum, and the mom just picks them up and just doesn't do anything, doesn't try to discipline them or anything, and just lets them go crazy, and it pisses everyone else off. And I feel like it's just a constant fucking wheel at that point, that he's gonna get emotional, slap, not get rid of the Oscar, and it's gonna happen to someone else somewhere else down the line.
Sure. I'm gonna go against that and say, I'm gonna go back to my business point of view, where it's all about the entertainment value of like the Oscars.
Well, that's
you
why
know?
if it is staged, they did a damn good job getting
yeah,
those ratings up.
100%.
Great job.
There's so much roasting going on TV. I don't think the Oscars is a family-friendly show anymore. Let's be honest. There's a lot of shows now that are no longer becoming family-friendly. Netflix, for example, is making adult-only animation series
Great.
now for TV shows. Everything's going against like the family-friendly and going more to adult humor and all kind of stuff. And I think what has happened is they kind of, if the Oscars want to turn to more of a broader audience and have people buckled in their seats, like watch these Oscars and see what happens when celebrities get their awards, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them. And I think one big thing that may have saved Will Smith's Oscar was the way Chris Rock responded to that, because he just kept the show going, like he did
a great job.
Yeah, Chris Rock is certified G.
He kept
Certified
the
G.
show going. It's just a big show, and you have to look at it like a show, like from beginning for however long the Oscar really is, like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, definitely.
Oscars, whatever. It's all a big show for the entertainment purposes, and I think Chris Rock, his behavior in the response to that was right on point as how he should have to keep the show going. Know what I mean? And I think that's right there would have saved Will Smith's Oscar altogether. Because let's say Will Smith pretends he's hurt and then falls on the ground, and then they get medical team to come in or whatever, and right there the Oscars are overdone because there's nobody there to host the show anymore. He kept it going. Like, I'm here, I'm the host of the Oscars, I got this. I can work around it. And he did a great performance doing that, and his response to that was amazing, keeping the Oscar going. And I think that alone is probably what saved Will Smith's Oscar altogether. From a business point of view, looking at it like this has to make money. People have to watch it. I know it's cold. People have to stay at home and watch and keep their eyes glued to the TV. It has happened. Everybody's eyes are on the TV now because they just saw what they just saw.
Everybody's eyes are on them now. And this is what Hollywood does. They have to manufacture some sort of drama to keep people in tune.
It's not family friendly anymore. Now everything's going to like gritty, like adult only stuff, and it's fantastic.
See, Nick is looking at the glass half full.
I am looking at the glass half full, and this is a great opportunity for the direction that the Oscars moving forward. I think the Oscars should go into tune to. I'm not going to say allow this stuff to happen, but be a little bit more lenient on the rules for the entertainment purposes of it.
Well, we do have to agree that the entertainment industry sure is changing at a rapid rate. There's a whole push for sexuality more, and there's a push for women's rights and
content.
That's the only problem about really. Well, that is a problem about we're raising men as women, and this was an emotional outburst of a little girl that Will Smith had here. He just couldn't hold it. It's not like Jada Pinkett Smith had a possible gun. It was like, yo, go take care of this right now. Go teach that
Here's
man
my
a
gun.
lesson. Go teach that man a lesson, and I'm gonna give you some pussy for the first time in 5 years. And he was like, oh, word, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get this. And, you know, Will Smith being the good actor he is, he went up there and, you know, gave him a good slap.
You notice that how more Hollywood's like becoming in tune to like sexualizing people more often.
Yes.
Oh,
Like, we have a video
we-
on this
we-
on the channel.
We live in a sexualized
I
world.
have an interesting theory on why that is because
yeah? What's that?
we, as you know, the millennials now are the ones stepping into the limelight of running these Netflix and Hulu and the Oscars and Hollywood. Pretty much, we are the people running these organizations now. Our parents was the old generation where they had to watch pornography on the VHS tapes. You know. We have the internet.
He's going.
Okay,
we got to save that for a different podcast, my
What-
friend. Yeah, we got to save that for a different. But you know,
what we have seen compared to what our parents have seen is way more out there. So now you have this mindset of people going into the internet like, I've seen everything. I can do anything at this point, running these big corporations. This is how like the steps is going towards it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
yeah, man. Just looking at this whole situation, man, it really you know, it just proves that, you know, we as a society
internet's
we're
to
really
blame.
going down. It's a big part of it, you know. You know, men and women, we're just, you know, we're very things. The world around us is changing at a rapid rate, and you know, situations like this, we're gonna see. You know, I think we're gonna see more outbursts, and you know, the way Chris Rock handled this is something to be admired. I think we need to really dissect that how Chris Rock was able to maintain his frame. He maintained the posture. He kept the show going. He might have been bedazzled, right? He was a little like caught off guard. And when he was, you know, he wasn't really saying the right things. Exactly, he was talking about he was fumbling. Well, let's talk about how he's fumbling around. Let's go into that.
Okay.
He's like,
That was a greatest night in the history of television.
He didn't even know how to process this.
Okay.
He definitely
well, we
didn't
don't
know
have to. I guess.
Yeah, we don't see the whole thing, but
He
he
started
was pretty much
talking
talking
about-
about the documentary thing, and he was stumbling in his words. I think that was also because that they were probably right. I found the word, the teleprompter. He probably has a teleprompter giving him what he has to say.
Impromptu.
And
He's
so
like,
it because of the slap, it probably screwed that up, and so he possibly couldn't have seen what he was actually supposed to say. So he was just trying to go off the top of his head and just couldn't get his words out because he was also just slapped like 2 minutes ago, not even, by Will Smith. So, you know, he was doing as best as he could, and he you know, he did a good job. He did a good job standing on his own and trying to keep the thing on going, because you know that's the best thing you can do is just keep the show going.
Yeah, the show must go on. You know, at what cost? I don't know. Will his award be stripped? I don't know. I mean, he just, you know, we just went over a little apology that he did. Maybe that'll have some sort of impact on it. But you know what? I think the main consensus is that Will Smith was, either way, he was in the wrong for this. Whether it be a publicity stunt, whether it be, you know, a burst of emotionalism because of years of kept pain. That, you know, and a lot of you guys watching, and a lot of you guys that you know, you're looking at this situation. And this may remind you of yourself. You know, a lot of you guys are going through a lot of shit in your relationships. And some of you don't know where to put that energy. A lot of you are not going to the gym. You're not properly expressing yourself as you should. A lot of you have a lot of hidden resentment towards someone, people. Many of you have a lot of hidden anger and jealousy issues and a lot of rage that you have yet to uncover. And a lot of you are not really sure where to put this energy that you have kept inside you. You live a lie. Many people, Will Smith is not the only actor in the world. Many of you are acting constantly. You're fake around your coworkers, around people that are around you, and you're forced for years to keep your true self hidden from the world.
The many faces of the human being.
Yeah, many of you are afraid to be your true selves, and then one day you're going to snap because somebody's going to press a button in you that you never knew you had. Will Smith didn't know he was going to get triggered that night, you know, but depending on, you know, assuming it's real. Will Smith didn't know he was going to go slap somebody that night. Chris Rock wasn't expecting to get slapped. The audience was not expecting to have some drama. We were not expecting to do this video today, but here we are. Why is this happening? Because things happen unexpectedly when you push the red button. When you hit buttons that should not be pressed, and you deal with people that are going with some serious illness inside that you may not know. I mean, Will Smith has a YouTube channel. He's smiling all the time, and you can watch Will Smith's video. He's all like, "Oh, ha, ha, I'm happy, jolly." But behind the scenes, in the dark places of Hollywood that you guys don't know where to go, there are a lot of dirty secrets hiding. For years, what was his name? Harvey Weinstein for years was fucking around with these girls, and he was doing some really evil stuff behind the scenes.
Shit.
And that was going on for years before he was caught. You guys really don't know what's going on in the true depths of Hollywood. Will Smith having this little outburst is just a little lesson for you guys to really take in and to really know that there's a lot going on out there that you don't know. Jada it is confirmed pretty much that she is not a great wife to Will Smith. A lot of people are going to be defending her, like, well, he stood up for her honor. Well, I don't think slapping Chris Rock, a known comedian that made a joke, is really the proper way as a man to handle a situation like that. It's not the best way. Nick, how would you have handled that situation? What if that was your wife, and what if Chris Rock said that?
Honestly, I wouldn't have addressed it, honestly, at the Oscars at the time. Because this is a situation where you have all eyes on you and eyes on the stage. I would have just taken that hit right there and then maybe, like, after the show, pulled Chris Rock aside. I was like, yeah, you didn't appreciate that joke.
Yeah, they could. I agree with that. I would have done the same thing. Mike, what would you have done?
Yeah, I probably would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have said anything. Actually, probably what I would have done is probably after the bit and after, like,
I would have given the gangster look like. I just gave him a look. Like, you gotta give him the cold look.
If anything, I probably would have, like, once the commercial hit and whatever, and Chris Rock, like, moved off the stage or whatever, I probably would have tried to follow him and be like, hey, let's talk, like, after the show, and I want to just talk about something, and then talk to him after the fact, just to give Chris, like, that, hey, I didn't like this, but I want to talk to you about it, and then we can have our conversation. And so instead of trying to do it right on stage and on live TV in front of, like, millions of people watching, I'd rather try to do it in a way where, there doesn't have to be this many eyes and this many things going on. We can be civil about a situation instead of having to become emotional and become angry and physical and violent and ignorant.
But no, he chose violence.
Yeah, he went the emotional route.
This is what happens when you choose violence.
Yeah, we at All Gains do not promote violence. We do not condone slapping people on stage or getting to fights.
Unless it's Chris Rock.
No, definitely not. Chris
no.
Rock's a homie.
Yeah, Chris Rock didn't, it was an accidental antagonizing against a guy who's facing a lot of mental illness, and, not exactly mental illness that was prescribed. It's a lot of torture that's gone on throughout the years, because Will Smith is in an unhealthy marriage, and he's trying to make it work the best he can. And despite his good efforts, it's really hard to keep a marriage stable that, you've been cheated on by this woman.
Especially when you got kids involved.
Yeah, you got a bunch of kids, and I don't know if they have a kid that it's not. I think Will Smith might. I think one of the kids is not his. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I heard that somewhere, but
I'm
I
not
could be
fully
wrong.
involved.
I have a laptop in front of me. I can look this up.
Yeah, let's look that up. Real quick.
Yeah, look it up. Like, and with everything happening, right? Like, Chris Rock is not in the. I don't think Chris Rock is in the wrong whatsoever in the situation of making that joke. I think that was his right to make jokes because he's the presenter and he's also a comedian and he knows how to entertain people. And so I feel like Chris Rock cannot be in the wrong in the situation at hand. Now, Will Smith is wrong in the situation 100%, but he also needs help, and he is someone who is in dire need of help. And if he had the amount of help that, other people can get to become, a better man and to become a more, socially normal, actually normal, where, he uses reason and logic over emotion, then, if he had that, there wouldn't be any problems. But he needs help, and he needs to find a way to, become a better person and become, less emotional, and to prevent these things from happening. Both of them are not pretty much, they're in the wrong. Chris Rock is not in the wrong, but he took everything that he did whatever he could to maintain posture and to look cool and calm, collected as he could. Will Smith did not do that at all. But at the same time, Will Smith, like, we can't just harp on Will Smith without saying that he needs some help, and he needs to find help. And I mean, I'd love to for God forbid, I'd love to have Will Smith on our podcast to talk about the situation man to man,
that'd be,
men to men,
Yeah, Will Smith, if you ever watch this, man, we
would love that. And we'd love to talk about that situation, have him open up more about like the things that are going on in his life and like know what's going on in his mind. Because like we don't know everything that's happening in his mind. We don't know everything that's happening in his life, regardless of that he's a celebrity, regardless of whatever he is, right? We know only so much. We only know what the media and what he lets out, right? We only know that much, but we don't know everything. We don't know everything that happens, and we only know what is being told by him, his wife, whatever, his children, the media, himself. We only know so much, and there could be so much more that's inside his brain and inside, his soul that he won't let out because he's too afraid of someone to say something in a specific way because he's already getting attacked for other dumb things and becoming memes. And so there's so many different angles to this thing that, we can't all physically and actually attach to a specific thing. We can't just say, oh, Will Smith is bad because he did this. Oh, Will Smith is a hero because he did this. We don't know what Will Smith is because we can't diagnose the issues that Will Smith has. We can only assume Will Smith has specific issues because of what we know and what we assume to be because we are only ignorant to that. But we can't fully comprehend the entire thing of Will Smith. We can only do what we have. And if Will Smith could just open up everything and let everyone know every single situation that he's in and every thought in his brain, we can understand more and people can possibly help him to become better. Because if he's having issues like what he looks like he is, and people can help him, he can become better, and then things like this probably won't ever happen again, especially for him. You found it?
Yes. As a side note, Jaden Smith, Willow Smith, and Trey Smith are his 3 children.
Okay.
All of which are Will Smith's. Trey is the son of Cherie Zampino, which was Will Smith's ex-wife.
Oh, okay. So Will Smith had the child from another marriage, and then
so Trey is his, but not hers.
Oh, okay. Usually it's the other way around in a lot of these marriages.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Okay, wait. Who's the oldest?
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Trey. Trey. I would assume Trey.
Trey.
I'm assuming Trey is the oldest, because I mean,
he was born in 1992.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that was what during that was during Fresh Prince, right? I think it was during Fresh Prince.
I think so. And he was married to Cherie between 92 and 95, so their relationship.
Yeah, that was definitely during Fresh Prince.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So basically, the essence of this podcast is, please be aware of what some guys are going through, and a lot of you guys really need to work on your mental health. You need to work on your emotional, self-core. You really need to practice becoming a little better and healthier with your mindsets, because you don't want to end up doing what Will Smith did, making this mistake. It was not necessary to go slap this man in the live studio audience, and he took it a little bit too far. Granted, he did issue an apology, which is pretty good of him, and in situations like this, it's important to deliver an apology, which he did. But guys, this is a lesson for many of you to learn from. A lot of people are going to make a joke out of this, but there's some realism that really goes into this, and there's a lot of things that you can learn from the life and lessons of Will Smith. Mike, any closing thoughts?
Honestly, I say this, and it sounds cliche, but think before you act. Everyone should be thinking before they act upon doing a specific thing. If you want to smack the crap out of somebody, you got to think for a second, why would I want to do that? Where am I? What would happen if I do this? What are the consequences to the actions that I want to make? And is that going to be any type of beneficial for me or anyone that I'm with? You got to really think about the things thoroughly before doing something, because regardless of whatever it is, if you don't think before you do it, if you don't plan anything out before you do something, then things are not going to go the way that you want. And if things don't go the way that you want, then what the heck was the point of that? You screwed up when you could have clearly thought through and made a logical plan for whatever it is that you were doing. Will Smith in this context should have thought about it for a second and then pull Chris Rock aside at the end and said something instead of getting up on live TV and smacking him. But sometimes we're human. We just we just get into that rage. We just falter on on our emotions, and sometimes that happens with everybody. But with Will, it's happened too many times, and this is something that needs to be addressed.
Yep, Nick, what are your closing thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, it's a situation where you put passion before your own I guess smartness. You think with your heart, not with your brain, you know. And in a situation like that, yeah, I would have probably have just ignored it and deal with it after the awards, because now you're putting, you know, your reputation, your wife's reputation, your Oscar now at risk, because you felt that joke was out of taste and thought something should have happened on it right there and right then and there. So it's definitely a situation where, you know, you think your heart's in the right place, but really it's not.
Pretty much. Yeah, guys, you know, Will Smith made a mistake. It happens. He should not have happened at all. He did make an apology, which is good. And, you know, this is a lot of lesson a lot of you can learn from. And it's very important that we take some of these things that happen with celebrities. I mean, they're, you know, these guys are the elites. But there's you know, and they have a different lifestyle than many of you watching and many of us. But there's a lot of things that they go through that we also go through, and makes us one, you know, because everybody is basically one. We're all the same species, and we have a lot of the same framework in our brain. And a lot of us are still, you know, we're all going through the same struggles, you know. It doesn't matter if you're rich. The same fundamentals of your marriage and relationship still apply. Will Smith goes through a lot of shit that many of you do. Just because he's rich does not mean he don't got game. Everybody has game, whether it be good game or bad game. Everybody has some sort of way they handle their marriage and their relationships. Will Smith doesn't seem to be doing a great job at it, and he's suffering. So if Will Smith ever watches this, I encourage him to get some kind of help. And many of you watching this, if you're going through relationship troubles, don't take it on other guys. Don't be slapping dudes or punching dudes because you're, you know, a little insecure with your own relationship. Seek help or get out of that relationship immediately. And I hope you guys enjoyed and found a lot of content in this podcast we're doing here today. This is our official last podcast in this studio. We're going to have a new studio for you guys. It's going to look a lot better, good audio quality for every single video that we do, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button for us. Leave a comment on your thoughts on the Will Smith situation below. Help out the algorithm. And if you guys want to donate to the channel, and if you guys appreciate the content we do, you can Cash App us at KetoAK. Mike's going to put the link in the description. If you want to donate to the channel, the money will be used to get us better equipment and, you know, try to get us up in the ranks. So so we'll put that in the link in the description. Check out allgainsapparel.com for our cool merch. And we're going to see you guys in the next podcast or video.
With you.